Hey everyone, this is Raven. I'm here with my recap and review of Boruto Naruto Next Generation's the anime, episode number 261, which is titled Kawaki Goes to the Ninja Academy. Which, yeah, you know what? I'm glad that we're finally getting a multi-episode arc that seems promising. It seems promising. From the first episode, after watching this particular first episode of the arc, I am looking forward to seeing what the writers have planned for Kawaki because this entire thing of Kawaki having to attend the ninja academy with a whole lot of young to-be ninjas or to-be genin, like, it's basically a mission that he's on. So let's see what kind of character development he ends up experiencing. So the episode opens up with Naruto basically giving an orientation speech to the new characters, these new ninjas. We have Kawaki over here. We have Himawari's two friends, I can't remember their names, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that these two characters were basically fan-made, and we also get to see the person that Kawaki will be protecting. Her name is Sky. Where is she? I think here she is, right? I think this is Sky. We have Iki over here, which we'll get to in a bit, and we also have a new character called Hana. I could be wrong, but I think that her name is Hana. And again, I could be wrong. Please correct me. I think that she is also a fan-made character, like a fan-voted character. They wanted her in. She won a competition, so she's here. I do feel that she needs to be more assertive when it comes to handling her class. Like, she is the classroom teacher after all. She needs to speak up more. So Naruto is giving an orientation to the students that he hopes that a lot of these people, not my bad, he hopes that not these people, these kids, that these kids end up learning a lot more while attending this academy. It's not all about learning how to do ninjutsu, taijutsu, or genjutsu. You end up making friends. You end up polishing your character and all of that stuff. And he ends up winking at Kawaki because again, Kawaki is here on a mission. And it's a very secret mission. I guess only Principal Iruka knows what Kawaki is up to. No one else knows, and Naruto would like Kawaki not to tell anyone. So in class, we get to see Himawari reconnecting with her two friends because they ended up working together during that trial class. And yeah, all three of them are excited to be ninjas. And personally, I didn't want Himawari to be a ninja. Maybe she won't become a ninja. Let's see. But yeah, I guess maybe. And I also like that the writers and the anime writers ended up giving her a new costume to showcase her more active lifestyle now. So all of the kids are talking about each other, trying to figure out who each one is, where they're from, and then we get a flashback where we get to see Naruto telling Kawaki about the mission. He ends up telling Kawaki that the person that he'll be protecting, her name is Sky, and she's basically the princess of from the land of bamboo, but her life is in danger because she is next in line to be queen, and apparently there are assassins who are after her, and they want her dead so that someone else will come in. Will take her place and all of that stuff. So Naruto just wants Kawaki to protect her. And Kawaki's like, but why do I have to go to the academy? Why couldn't you send someone else? And Naruto's like, well, I could have sent Boruto, but a lot of people know Boruto. Basically, the entire village knows Boruto, and I can't just send him back into the academy. No one knows you, so it's your mission, Kawaki. Will you do it? And Kawaki, of course, agrees because he looks up to Naruto. And then we get to see Hana, and again, Hana's personality, like Uncle's face over here, like Hana needs to speak up more. So Hana is like, why don't every student introduce themselves? And we get little introductions. We get this introduction by this little kid. Her name is Iki. He's from the Fuma clan, and his father works for the police force. He's also a special jonin. So Iki has this attitude about him. And I don't know about you guys, but I also like this character. I don't know her name. I think the anime the episode didn't give us her name, but she seems to have the T on everyone, and I like that. I like messy characters like that. So we get Himawari's introduction that she's an Uzumaki, and of course she's the daughter of the Hokage, and everyone is impressed. However, this particular character isn't impressed. Apparently she's like, I want attention too. So she stands up, and it turns out that her mother is a very, very big superstar or something. I guess both of her parents are famous. So she is being looked at as a prodigy when it comes to acting and everything. What she's doing in a ninja academy, I have no idea. She should be at acting school. So, and then we get to see again the messy character comes in, and she's like, you know what? There is one person who deserves all of their attention. And then we get the introduction from Kai that she is from the land of bamboo. She's a foreign exchange student, and she's looking forward to staying here and studying here. And then again, the messy character comes in and she's like, well, I heard a rumor that she's a princess. And everyone is like, she's a princess? Wow. And again, I like this character already. And then it's Kawaki's turn, and Kawaki, of course, he doesn't know how to properly introduce himself. And it turns out that Naruto gave him some advice. The advice that Naruto gave him is that to basically share your favorite food with everyone. And Kawaki does that with a lot of energy. He's like, my name is Kawaki, and I love this particular food. And everyone is like, oh, he is a very strange he's a very strange person. And of course everyone realizes that he's also older than them, so Kawaki just has this strange personality that the kids don't necessarily understand. And then we get a scene where Himawari and her friend are talking to Kai, and they're asking her about her life as a princess and everything, that she lives in a castle and whatnot. And Iki walks past them, and Iki is like, oh, these girls are very, very noisy. And then Kai notices that Iki dropped his handkerchief. She picks it up and she's like, Iki, I think you dropped this. And of course Iki, he blushes because Kai is a very, very pretty kid. And of course he blushes, and he basically has a crush on her already. And Kawaki is like, you know what, I need to go in, I need to start becoming friends with Kai. And of course Kawaki doesn't know how to be someone's friend, so he's very, very forward about what he wants. He basically stands in front of Kai and he's like, Kai, would you like to be my friend? Would you like to go out and eat something with me? And yada yada yada. And Kai is like, what the heck? She feels awkward, but she's also kind of interested in the way Kawaki handles himself. But Iki doesn't like that, because again, Iki has a crush on Kai, and he doesn't like how Kawaki is basically kind of he has a more of a threatening, commanding nature about him, and he feels that Kai is feeling uncomfortable. So Iki steps in and he's like, don't you understand that that Kai doesn't want to talk to you? Are you hitting on her? And Kawaki's like, what does that even mean? And Iki blushes and he's like, well, hitting on someone is like you try to be nice to someone because you like them and you want them to be your friend. And Kawaki is like, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. It's a mess. It's a mess. This episode had some good comedic moments. And Himawari is observing all of this, because again, Himawari is like, why is Kawaki acting like this? Oh, also, while Himawari and her friend were talking to Kai, this is where Himawari learns that Kai is into romance novels. So Hana walks in and there's commotion in the class, and she is basically unable to calm the students down. And I'm like, Hana, speak up. And of course, Hana is very worried. She is concerned about her skills as a teacher, and Anko and Shino, they end up telling her that, you know what, it's your first day, don't worry about it. And I'm like, hopefully, as this arc continues, we'll get to see Hana come more into her own and be more commanding when it comes to handling the kids. But let's see. So everyone is at home. Kawaki and Himawari are asked by Hinata about how the academy went, and Himawari is like, yeah, it was fun. We have a princess attending class and yada yada yada. Naruto teases Kawaki about how he doesn't need to worry about Team 7 because they'll manage without him. And Himawari wants to ask Kawaki about why he's been acting strange, but Kawaki's like, because of course he has to keep a secret from everyone that he's on a mission. So Kawaki's like, you know what, later, I'm tired, I need to go. And Boruto's like, Hima, are you okay? And Himawari's like, no, I just have this feeling that Kawaki isn't being himself, so I need to get to the bottom of this. And then we get to see Hana teaching the class about the summoning jutsu, about how they need to have a contract with the monster that they want to summon, on anything that they want to summon. And then Hana asks the class about the Hokages, and she asks about the 7th Hokage. So of course Kawaki tells Hana and the class about the 7th Hokage, Naruto, about how he likes ramen and everything. And he's very, very excited about talking about Naruto, because again, he looks up to Naruto. He basically wants to protect him. He kind of wants to be like him. And Hana is like, okay, what about the rest of the Hokages? And Kawaki's like, I don't care about them. I know nothing about them. And we get the scene where the kids are basically wondering about who Kawaki is, what kind of personality that he has. We get a flashback where Kawaki was sleeping, but the class bell rang, and Kawaki thought that they were under attack. And then we get the scene where Kawaki ends up eating the lunch that Hinata packs him, and of course Hinata packs some very, very delicious, cute lunch. And the kids are like, you know what? This Kawaki guy, he's a mystery. So Kawaki is outside of class, and Hima talks to him, and he's like, Kawaki, you really want to be friends with Kai, right? And Kawaki's like, yep, that's what I want to do. So she ends up telling Kawaki that Kai likes romance novels, so maybe go buy a romance novel for her. And Kawaki's like, okay, thank you, I guess I'll do that. And we get the scene where Kawaki goes to the shop, and of course the shopkeeper he's like, wait, he's kind of weirded out if someone like Kawaki would want to buy a romance novel. And Kawaki's like, hey, I need the romance novel, give it to me. And back in class, we see that the media knows that Kai is attending the academy, and Kai is getting a lot of attention. And of course, the daughter of the actress doesn't like that. And Kai, yeah, we get to learn more about Kai, that she is exhausted, like trying to keep up appearances because she's a princess and she needs to be all prim and proper. That can be very tiring. So she excuses herself from class, and she ends up enjoying a hot dog all alone, because when she's all alone, she can be herself. And then we get to see the kids training. They're throwing kunais, and of course Hima is very good at kunai throwing, because again, from what I know, Hinata did train Himawari and Boruto, and everyone is like, yeah, that's expected from the daughter of the Hokage. And then Iki is like, you know what, throwing kunai, that doesn't show the level of skills that I have, but you know what will show my level of skills? Going into a sparring match with Kawaki. And he's like, Kawaki, fight with me. And Kawaki's like, no, I don't fight with people that are weaker than me. And of course Iki doesn't agree with that, so Iki tries to hit Kawaki, and Kawaki, with his hands in his pockets, he easily dodges all of Iki's attacks, if you can even call them attacks. And Iki, while he's trying to land a hit on Kawaki, he ends up hurting himself. And of course everyone is impressed because of how powerful Kawaki is. And we get a scene in the infirmary where Anko ends up patching Iki up, and and Hana is there, and Hana ends up apologizing to Anko that she wasn't able to calm the class down, and they had the sparring match. And Anko is like, hey, don't worry, this happens. I just want you to put all of the weapons that you were using back into the storage room, and remember to lock the storage room. Why won't you? Please remember that. And Iki is like, oh, the storage room. Because he wants to impress Kai, he wants something powerful to use, so he goes into the storage room, and he ends up finding the summoning scroll. And while that's happening, Kawaki notices that Kai ended up going somewhere outside alone in the academy, and of course Kawaki follows, and Kai is just talking to herself about how she feels free when she's alone, and that she's interested in getting to make friends, and she's interested in getting to know more about that weirdo Kawaki. And Kawaki's like, did you just call me weird? And Kai is like, yeah, I did. So these two talk about a bit more about Kai, and that Kai feels a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure, because she's a princess and she needs to basically be the face of an entire kingdom, and that she's trying to enjoy her days in the Hidden Leaf Village, because when she's back when she goes back, she will need to go back to her fulfilling her royal duties, and that's a lot of pressure. And these two begin talking about wanting to be friends, and because again Kawaki wants to get closer to her in order to protect her, and Iki walks in, and Iki's like, yep, I knew it, that you were going to do something shady with Kai. I won't let you get away from her, and I'm going to use the scroll in order to attack you, Kawaki. And again, this is where Kai is like, you can't summon something without being in a contract with it. Iki, didn't you pay attention to what Hana was teaching in class? And Iki's like, hey, it will be alright, I have the skills. But of course Iki summons the monster. He gets knocked out because of that weird tornado type thing that was released from the scroll before the monster came in. And of course it's not a very powerful monster, it's not a very big monster in my opinion. It looks manageable quite easily by Kawaki, and of course Kawaki just one punches the monster, and the monster dissipates, and Kai is like, thank you for protecting me, Kawaki. And she's like, okay, so what about Iki? And Kawaki's like, hey, he'll be okay, he'll get up in a minute or two, because he's unconscious on the ground. And this is where Kai is like, Kawaki, who are you? And of course Kawaki can't tell Kai that being her friend is part of her mission, his mission. So he's like, I'm just someone trying to be your friend. And he ends up giving the romance novel to Kai. And Kai accepts, of course. And then we get a scene where Kai is at home, and we get to see this guy, and he's like, okay, so did something good happen at the academy? And she's like, yep, I made a friend, and I'm just trying to enjoy my days before I go back to being a princess and fulfilling my royal duties. And the guy is like, So I'm suspicious of him, but let's see what happens. And we get a scene where Kawaki ends up reporting to Naruto at Naruto's house that everything went well. He's now Kai's friend, and that he's basically being her friend because it's part of the mission, and that he's also he still doesn't understand why he needs to go through all of that low level training. And Naruto's like, hey, don't worry about it, you'll get used to it. And basically Naruto wants Kawaki to learn how to make friends. And again, as far as Naruto is concerned, even though this is a mission, coming back to Naruto's speech in the beginning of the episode, he wants being part of the academy improve Kawaki's personality. So basically he's trying to kill two birds with one stone, or hit two targets with one arrow, if you want to put it like that. That, of course, the mission needs to be fulfilled by Kawaki, but through all of this, Kawaki will also get to experience some much-needed character development. And while these two are talking, this is where we get a scene where Himawari is basically listening to what Kawaki and Naruto are talking about from the other side of the door, and she's like, yep, I knew it, Kawaki's on a secret mission. So this will be very interesting, because I highly doubt that Himawari is going to tell Kawaki that he's on a secret mission, that she knows that he's on a secret mission. And let's see how these two play with each other as far as the dynamic is concerned. But having said that, I also feel that Himawari won't be able to keep this secret for long. I think that by the end of the next episode, she will tell Kawaki that, you know what, Kawaki, I know that you are on a secret mission, and that's why you're trying to become friends with Kai. But let's see what happens. Anyway, if I end up doing a written review of this episode, I'll put the link to my review down in the comment section below as soon as the review is published. It was an enjoyable episode. Again, as I said, this will be a multi-episode arc, and it does feel promising. So let's see what happens. Let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.